Shalom, family. It's about a little after 4 a.m. But I've just been just wanting to get on here and kind of share a quick word about offenses. Um, Offense is something that we all go through, we deal with in life, and the hardest thing about offenses is dealing with it when it hits close to home, dealing with it with family, loved ones, when people betray you, or when you feel as if your trust has been betrayed, and especially when you try to do right by people. You try to pray for them, you try to wish well for others, and you don't, you kind of stay to yourself. You don't meddle in people's business, but you always seem to find people who dislike you, and you know they have a hatred for you, and you think that it's about you. You think people are jealous of you, or you think that it's you know just something about you that makes people want to attack you, and you take it personal. Well, the word speaks about offenses, and it says, "Blessed is the man who's not offended in me." And we have to understand that the enemy uses offenses a lot of times to attack the people of the Most High. Um, when you were called and chosen um, for your assignment, a lot of times you're called to pray and intercede for people. You're called to spread the gospel to people who are lost, and ultimately lead them to the Father to be saved. And that's a job that is it is um, people take it for granted. Um, it is a thankless job. Even being a pastor, a minister, a leader, it is hard because you deal with people who they use you for what they want, and they do it to the Most High as well. And so we've all been guilty of it. And so we get what we want, and then we leave, or the minute that you say something to someone they don't agree with, or you offend them, when you call out their sin, or you try to be real with them, all because you're trying to help them. They turn their back on you, and they leave the ministry, they leave the church, or they're speaking bad about you, the backbiting, gossiping others about you. And one thing we gotta understand is the spirit that's working in these people. And that is when the light bulb came off for me, because I wanted to be offended. Even a lot of people close to me, that said things, and when we were going through our struggles and our hard times, and people were judging and having a bunch of things to say about us behind our backs, but would be around us, talking with us as if everything was okay. And these things, and it's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to deal with, but you got to understand, if it's the word, when the Most High, when Yahushua, when he said that they will hate you because they first hated me. So if they if if they couldn't stand the Messiah when he was on the earth, when he was teaching in the synagogues, and he was clarifying and breaking down that false doctrine that the Pharisees were spreading, they didn't want to hear that. You know, there were some people that were delivered, and there were some people that are set free from strongholds, but then there were people that, hey, you know, Yahusha was disturbing what they had going on, and they didn't like that. He was loosening that grip that they had on the people. He was opening the people's eyes, and that's what the truth does. And so they hated him, and ultimately they tortured him and led him to the cross. But that was all part of the plan. But they did that out of hatred. You got to think about that. So they didn't like they didn't like what he was doing. They're not gonna like what we're doing. They're not gonna like that you set people free. They're not gonna like that people are getting baptized. The enemy is him. So that's that spirit that you're fighting with. Even when your family members are coming against you, the enemy knows that you're the curse breaker. And when I realized that, it freed me up and it allowed me to check my emotions and understand that it's not about me. Once you understand it's not about you, it's the light in you that they're afraid of, it's the light in you that people can't stand. That's what makes people not want to be around you no more. When you were thick as thieves back in the day, you were close with them. Y'all were very close. But when you decide to cross over and when you decide to really live for Yah, you're going to have to draw the line in the sand where you where your morals stand at. What do you accept? Um what do you agree with? What are you in agreement with? And so you can't play both sides. So when you decide that you're gonna live for him, you're gonna realize that a lot of people, no matter how much they say they love him, no matter how much they go to church, no matter how much scripture they may know, no matter how spiritual they act like they are, a lot of people are really not want to live for the Most High. They really don't love him. They really don't want to change their lifestyle for him. They really don't want to be free as bad as they say they do. So you're gonna have to leave them behind. It's gonna be hard to deal with, but you gotta understand that it is something that we all go through. We all go through it. And ultimately, if you love them enough, you continue to pray for them. Don't let that offense cause a root of bitterness in you, because you still can dare break through lies in your obedience. So even through you praying for them, you might not bring them to, it might not bring them to salvation the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. It may take a while, it may take years, but ultimately, as you break through and as you overcome those demons that's in your bloodline, when you breakthrough happens for them as well. You know, you see in Job, before Job was done being tested, he prayed. He had to forgive his friends because they were telling him that, you deserve everything that's going on with you. They didn't understand that he was being tested. They didn't understand that concept. Job didn't understand it. He just understood that, look, I'm being hit from all sides. I'm losing my family. I'm losing my business, losing my things, my money, my wealth, my health is going. He didn't understand what was going on, but he never cursed the Most High. And also, he had people in his ear telling him that, you should just go ahead and just accept your fate, curse the Most High, and then go ahead and just die. But he understood that he loved him, and he understood that he truly was a man for the Most High. His heart was really for him. And after everything people were saying, after all the judgmental comments and things that people were saying, why they saw him suffering, they were sitting around him while he was going through, and he forgave them. He prayed for them. Then once he prayed for them, then that's when the Most High restored them. When Joseph when Joseph got out of the pit and went to the palace and was uh, Pharaoh's right hand man, he he controlled everything that moved in and out of Egypt. He controlled everything because he was the one that was sustaining them. Without his vision, without his dreams of what the Most High was showing was to come, the people would have perished. And so they appreciated him. They knew his value. But he had to overcome in the end. He had to overcome that bitterness, that anger, that resentment for what his brothers did to him. And if he didn't, it would have ruined him. Most High would have took it away from him again. Probably would have ended up back up in the prison for something else. Who knows what? But it's all a test, man. It's all a test. And we got to get over our feelings. We got to be able to rule our spirit. The word talks about being able to rule your spirit, not letting your buttons be easily pushed, because the enemy is going to do that. He's going to see if you are really about that life. He's going to see if you really mean what you say, if you're really trying to love people, if you really want to be made over, if you really want forgiveness for yourself, for all your other sins that you've done and committed. You don't have a clean slate without forgiving others. So if you choose not to forgive, then he won't forgive you. So and then you hinder your life, you hold your life up. So I just want to give a quick word about um, offense and how we should keep our minds on things of the Most High, things above, and know that we're all going through the same walk. It just might look like different steps we all have to take, but we go through the same thing. So just wanted to give you that little bit of encouragement, and yeah, until next time, shalom.